This is episode 16, a solo episode with me, Tiffany Hinton, and we're going to be talking about the Astra Festival from the Wheel of the Year today on Cultivating Guts. Hello, it's Tiffany, and welcome back to Cultivating Guts, a podcast where we discuss gardening, homesteading, gut health, and following our intuition. I am so excited to be back with you guys. I've had so many insightful moments this past week. There's been a shift in the energy, and everything is just like amazing, awesome. Things are happening, and I just feel inspired. I also know that if I don't get the stuff done inside in a few short weeks, I'm not going to be wanting to spend time inside. And so what better way to make sure we get our spring cleaning done than to incorporate it right into our Astra festival and celebration that happens in coincidence and coinciding with the spring equinox. So today on the called podcast, we are simultaneously video recording. So you can catch us at YouTube at youtube.com/Tiffany Hinton, and you can watch us live there. But we are talking all things Astra, and super excited. Where did the holiday come from? What are some rituals and ceremonies you can do? And what are things you might want to put on your altar as you're resetting your altar, and prayers you might want to pray, and actually making this Wheel of the Year festival and celebration actionable. So before we get started, I want to make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the Cultivating Guts podcast. This really only takes about 30 seconds to hit the rating button, give us, the stars, the thumbs up, and write us a review. If you send me a screenshot of that review at tiffany@gfmomcertified.com, I will send you our 4-day Hacking Your Health Gut Detox Plan for free. Also, if you are listening, screenshot your favorite part and share it with us on Instagram at gfmomcertified or at Cultivating Guts. I love reposting, and I'm super excited to hear what you thought of today's episode. And if there's anything you learned today in this episode, I am so grateful for you and all of our amazing listeners for helping us grow the podcast and sharing it with more people. And before we head into the show, here's a quick word from one of our sponsors. So, all right, you guys, today's sponsor is actually Cultivating Guts, and I'm super excited to be sponsoring the podcast ourselves today and to be talking about our brand new Cultivating Guts, the ultimate Greenwich garden planner. This planner has become a staple in my life. My planner actually has dirt now on it. The pages have dirt. They are dirty. They have finger smudges, and it is because I am using it. I have it outside with me. I am measuring spaces to expand the garden, to put the chicken coop that we're getting in May, and I'm documenting it within the planner. The planner has become an extension of my traditional garden planning, and it's all in one place. It's bound together. I can use paper clips to insert extra pages or scotch tape. I can cut out pictures from the seed catalogs of the plants and the seeds that I've started. I can write down their correspondence, their medicinal and herbal properties, all in the planner. I can track the dates that I've planted, things that I wanted to order, things that I have ordered, a checklist of things that orders have been placed, and just so much. And this is something that I want all of you to have as you're planning out your gardens this year. And so there's a couple of ways that you can get the ultimate Greenwich gardening planner, right? So you can visit www.cultivatingguts.com and pick up the planner there. We have it in a printed version or in a PDF download. Also, we just announced our brand new live Cultivating Guts Greenwich gardening live workshop hosted right in my own garden on April 30th in the Chicagoland area. And that event is $60. And so if you purchase a ticket to the live event, you will get a Greenwich garden planner as part of your package for coming to the live event. So that is another way you can get the planner. You are able to get the planner, like I said, though, directly off our website, download it, start using it, or purchase it and get a printed version at www.cultivatingguts.com. So thank you again for joining us. And with that, we're going to head right into the show. Hello, it's Tiffany. I'm so glad you're here. So this is episode 16, as we said in the intro. And today we're going to explore Astra, right? Or Ostra, or however you want to pronounce it, Ostara. It is one of the celebrations, festivals of the year as the wheel turns. and it coincides with our spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. So this year that takes place on March 20th. Traditionally, it's on March 21st or 22nd. And what is interesting for this witchy festival is that it actually has not got its roots in a pagan holiday or a Wicca holiday. It was a festival and it also doesn't really have anything to do with Easter. And that's another misconception. A lot of people think that Ostra and Easter, somehow the naming must be the same. And so I want to talk a little bit today about the festival, how you could celebrate it this coming weekend at home during the spring equinox. What are some rituals that you might do for yourself, with your children? And let's talk a little bit about the history of it. So I pulled two of my wonderful favorite books. So this is called The Year of the Witch, and it's about the wheel of the year. And then at the end of the book, it teaches you how to make your own wheel of the year and include your own like birthday and your own celebrations. And then if this one is by Lisa Lister, and this is called Witch. And again, another great book. So let's dive into the history of Astra first of all. And I want to start with a quote from the Year of the Witch book because I love this. It says, "You can cut all the flowers, but you cannot keep spring from coming." And that is by Pablo Neruda. And it just makes me think about like in the logical sense, right? If we were to put this in the 3D, like somebody out there with the scissors cutting all their dandelions on their yard or cutting all the heads of the tulips off, whatever it is, right? Cutting all the flowers down. But yet the sun is still going to come. The warm weather is still going to come. The trees are still going to bud. You can't go around and just cut all the flowers all the time. And the reason I bring that up is because in where we live in America, like dandelions are seen as weeds. And I am one of the few that has refused to dig them all out, spray them all with Roundup, like cut all their heads off or get a dandelion remover and scoop them all out. Because they're beautiful. They're yellow. They're medicinal. They have such great healing properties for our gut. And I love that our yard where I live is not sprayed with any chemicals or herbicides. And so I could go out and pick the dandelions and brew them or make things with the tea, or you can use the yellow flowers and the heads of the dandelions to make dyes for Easter eggs, dyes for Ostara eggs, dyes to dye clothing. You can do a lot of fun stuff with it. You can even make paint out of it. So, my neighbors might despise me sometimes when we have dandelions all over our yard. My husband doesn't always love it. And yet I find beauty in those dandelions. I actually just got a new t-shirt that I'm going to wear this summer that has like, when the dandelion is the yellow part of the flower is dyed, and then there's that big white poof. And you blow it, and it's all the seeds, right? And as you blow it, all the seeds go everywhere, and it makes more dandelions. But anyway, that big white poof is on this t-shirt that I got. So this quote really just, I loved it. Okay, so Astra is the fourth spoke of the wheel of the dark side, right? So it's the very ending of winter, the very ending of the dark side of the modern wheel of the year. And so back to like, where did it come from? Because it didn't come from Easter. It's not a Catholic holiday, because that would be Candlemas instead, right? So Astra is actually a Latin word, or derived from Latin words that mean equal, and nox meaning night. It's the equal night. So it's where the night and the day are equal again, right? So we had that at the fall equinox, and now we're at spring equinox. And so the night and the day are equal. And more as we move into our summer season, and more as spring comes, the day is going to override the night, right? So this is why we have daylight savings time and so forth, why we change. Otherwise, our sunshine would start coming up at 4 a.m, 3:30 at the peak of summer. And so we kind of switch that, and we have our sunshine later in the day as doing spring equinox. So Astra itself was established by Caesar from the Roman Empire. And Caesar established this festival to mark the beginning of the tropical year. So that is contrary to popular belief, where a lot of people think that Ostra and Easter are derived from one and the same, but they're actually weeks apart. So Astra marks, like I said, spring equinox. Easter marks a different lunar part of the calendar year. And so Easter can be celebrated in March, or it could be celebrated in April. And again, Easter is a religious holiday that is primarily secular, and it has eggs and rabbits and, right, all your Easter candy and your masses and the breaking of Lent and the resurrection of Christ and crosses and the color purple. That's all Easter. Astra is the holiday to celebrate the beginning of the tropical year, the rising of the sun increasing. Astra itself and the spring equinox symbolize rebirth, resurrection, and it is the very last festival of the dark half of the year, of the wheel of the year. It's got warming temperatures, increased fertility, and it's a great time to begin to plant the seeds of love and of magic. It's a great time to start to look for when the earth is going to not have its frost anymore, and you can impregnate the earth with seeds for a brand new revitalization of your garden, revitalization of flowers, and all of this wonderful stuff. So then, throughout European history and much of the world, it is commonplace to actually give livestock, whether you were, sacrificing the livestock or you were giving livestock to somebody of need. That is part of the Astra holiday. So there are a couple of different gods and goddesses that are associated with Astra. One being the triple goddess, the goddess Hecate, which I love, right? The goddess of the garden, the goddess of witchcraft. And so during Astra, this triple goddess resumes her maiden form. And she is true of any triple goddess and is not necessarily delegated to one particular piece. She comes back to that maiden form. Greek mythology, there is Kore, Kore, is associated with Astra, along with the god Pan, who is the horn god in a new form. Pan is the god of nature and the wild. Okay. And then so let's talk a little bit about like celebrations of Astra, things you can do. So I'm going to go back, right? Year of the Witch book for a second. Spring cleaning. And this is so cool. So we just about, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks ago in February, right? Beginning of February, we celebrated Imbolc. And with Imbolc, we set kind of dreams. It was the festival of fire, the goddess Bridget, and it was about what do you want. Now, during Astra, it's time to clean out all the stuff you don't want, to get rid of anything you're not going to carry with you into the new astrological year, anything you're not carrying forward. So this is associated with spring cleaning, cleaning out your closets. How many of you that are listening would have, my mother used to do this, and I do this still for my children. I don't do it for myself, but I do it for my girls. You like take all the winter clothes out of the dresser, you donate the ones or throw out the bad ones, or the things that don't fit or you're not going to wear, and you store the other winter sweaters and stuff that you could reuse the next season. And you bring in all the summer dresses, the Easter dresses, the spring clothes, the shorts, the hoodies, the lighter sweatshirts, and you kind of reset your wardrobe, right? That is a perfect tradition ritual to do for Astra going. And what is even more fun is that this is going to kind of coincide with spring break, right? So it gives you time to do this spring cleaning or to have your kids do it if they're home from school. So you can spring clean. You want to get rid of the dust. You want to maybe mop the floors, clean the walls. Or we actually cleaned out my refrigerator last week, and I took everything out of the fridge, wiped it all down, cleaned it out, did some vinegar, and then only put back the stuff that was still good. You can also do a little bit of additional stuff where you can do a white candle while you're cleaning, light the white candle, fill up 7 garbage bags, magic number 7, right, of things that you're either donating or throwing away. And then from there, grab your mop, broom, and your broom, and sweep the house, going in line with the clock, like in clockwise, clean the rooms clockwise throughout your house. Then go back and mop, maybe add a little bit of rosemary oil to your mopping water for protection and cleaning and clarity. And then sage your house, again, clockwise, right? And as you're doing that, invite in through prayer love and light and love, right? And abundance and new beginnings and whatever it is that your intention is. As you're cleaning and as you're saging your house, you can pray out loud, you can do your mantras, and you can bring that in. The eggs of Astra are also here. We also have eggs in Easter, so that is something that'll cross both of these festivals and holidays. But it's also a time to recommit to your goals. So we wrote out all of our awesome dreams, right, that we wanted for in book. Now you need to put action to everything you wrote down that you really want to happen. So during Astra, you need to go back and look at that list and you need to say, what am I acting on? What is the action I'm going to take? And one of the things that I'm actually going to do on the full moon and then continue to relook at it through Astra is I'm going to make a list of things that I need to do in the next 2 weeks. So what are the things that keep showing up in my mind that within the next 2 weeks, I need to take action on? One of which is I need to go put cardboard over the grass that I want to stop growing, where I want to expand the Hickey garden. I need to do that. I need to get the post holes that we need dug for the greenhouse build scheduled so that I know who's doing it. I know what they're doing. I know where they're digging them, but I don't have it on the calendar. So that's something that's running through my head that needs to be done that I need to take care of. Right? So what are those things? Make a list on paper. Everything that keeps popping up in your head, maybe it's on your to-do list and you just keep procrastinating, put it on the list of what do I need to do in the next 2 weeks. Then look at that list and take a pen and anything that you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to do it, scratch it out. But if it anything that you know has to be done, but you personally don't want to tackle it, then get another sheet of paper and at the top of that paper, write universe to-do list, God's to-do list, whatever you want to call it, and move those items to the universe's to-do list. Set the intention out loud that the universe needs to finish these within the next 2 weeks for you, put them in motion and take action on them. And then you go back to your to-do list and you start scheduling that stuff within the next 2 calendar weeks. So it's done by Easter. This is done. Okay. Okay. So what are the symbols for Astra besides the eggs? How about that? Lamb, rabbits, of course, because they represent fertility and they represent reproduction. Rabbit is also known as the lunar hare, and the lunar hare is sacred for the moon goddess. In the West, the hare, like a cat, is a common witch familiar, and witches are said to have power to turn themselves into rabbits or cats, depending on what you believe. Um, the herbs that are associated with Astra are lemongrass, spearmint. And so I love the smell of lemongrass. That might be something else you might want to add to a bottle of water with a little white vinegar and use that as a cleaning solution. You could also do a lemongrass bath with some Epsom salt. That would be amazing. When you reset your altar for Astra, which I need to do as well, you want to use amethyst crystals, baskets, eggs, feathers, flowers, seeds, maybe some honey or honey cakes, and soft wool, because those are all symbols of spring and the coming season that we are celebrating. So those are kind of like things when you think about Astra. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Like, what can you do going into the Equinox? What can you do this weekend? And what do you want to put in place? And I know this is a shorter podcast, but I want to make it actionable for you today. So things to do, right, going into Astra is the spring cleaning, broom, each room in your house, sweeping it, then mopping it maybe with a oil based mopping solution, right? It's 1 to 2 drops of oil per bucket of mop water. Setting that, doing the saging or cleansing or whatever herb you want to burn in your house. And then you could even do your own Astra bath, relaxing, add some lemongrass oil to your bath, light some candles, add some Epsom salt soaks, and either listen to a mantra while you're in the bath relaxing, or just maybe do a little bit of your own breath work and meditation while you're sitting in the water. Then when it comes to the actual ritual, light your white candle, make your list of everything you need to do in the next 2 weeks. Get it out of your head and onto paper, out of your head onto paper. Then look at that list, prioritize it, assign part of it to the universe, part of it, scratch it out, surrender it, let it go. When you're done, get it scheduled in your calendar or in your phone if you're using a phone to track your events. Hire somebody to do it, get it off your list, and then take that list and burn it and let that go and surrender that back to the universe. Let God have that back. And those are kind of the things you can do for Astra. And then it's going to be the full moon, right? The 18th. Astra is the 20th. The 18th is the full moon. So we don't want to be planting any seeds after the full moon because now the moon is waning and it's shrinking. It's time to cultivate again. It's time to work the ground, plan, prep. And so with that, it's a great time to pick up our Ultimate Greenwich garden planner. It's a great time to start building, like we're going to be building the greenhouse during the waning moon. You could build your raised beds, put the cardboard out, or however you want to kill the grass or start to like do that. Put out any of the compost that you need to do, or the soil amendments, or if you're going to add tea, which we'll talk about tea later, but like regeneration teas and things that you can make to pour on the ground to bring more fertilization there. And I would also say if your berries, your blackberries, your raspberries, or any of your other things like your elderberry bushes or currants have not got buds on them, you can, after the full moon, go ahead and prune those. So next week, and prune them. This would be the last opportunity to prune them before they start to actually grow and bud. So those are actionable items. Again, if you've got any questions, let me know. I'm so glad you made it today to our episode on cultivating guts. I know it's a shorter episode. And if you've got any questions, like ping them to me on Instagram at GFMomCertified or at Cultivating Guts, and we'll get those answered for you. Happy Ostra. And I'm so excited for this festival and to celebrate with you. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Share with me what your favorite part was and share when you will try these rituals at home. Are you going to be doing the Astra spring cleaning? Are you going to make the list of items for the next 2 weeks? Which one, or are you going to do both? Ask me any questions. I'm here for you, and I'm excited to see all of your benefits. Satnam. I love you guys. So if you love this episode, remember to share it with your friends and send it to anyone who may love this inspiration and information that I shared today. To get our newest book, The Ultimate Greenwich Gardening Planner, I want you to visit www.cultivatingguts.com. You can pick up the book right there. You can get the PDF version or the printed version. And I'm super excited today to be announcing our brand new first live event of the year, our Greenwich Gardening Workshop, live in my own backyard in our garden space, where we're going to be talking about all things gardening, from planning to building raised beds and so much more. And included in the ticket for that live event, you do get the Ultimate Greenwich Gardening Planner for yourself. So to get all those details, head over to www.cultivatingguts.com and you will see everything you need to get started to sign up for our live event, April 30th, the Greenwich Gardening Workshop. And also, if you're not in the Chicago area and you want to get your hands on the planner, you can also get the planner and purchase it right there at www.cultivatingguts.com. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us today.